With this video, I would like to show you how you can create measure bins in the target client. A measure bin is actually just a categorization of your data based upon the value of your measures. So for example, if you have number of sales per salesperson ranging from 0 to 10,000, maybe you'd like a bin showing those members selling from 0 to 1,000. So that would be one measure bin. You can't really do it right out of the box in the target client, but you can do it as a workaround using comparisons, visibility agents, and calculations. And the steps you need to take is what you see here. So depending on how many measure bins you would like, you'll need to create the same number of comparisons elements within a comparison. And once you've done that, you'll also have to create a number of visibility agents, one for each bin, and in order to make sure that the bin only shows the data you would like to see in there. And you might also want to create a calculated column to fix some issues that you would otherwise see with your totals. And once you've done that, the last thing would be to hide the original measure columns. If we have a look at that in the target line, I have an example here. This crosstab is showing me number of sales per salespersons, and you can see that the data here ranges from as low as 16 up to more than 5,000, 6,000 down here. I may like to create, let's say, 4 measure bins here. One for the range 0 to 100 or less than 100, and one the range 100 to 1,000. A third one ranging 1,000 to 5,000, and then a last fourth range with those values above 5,000. So I'll go here to my criteria tab and start out by adding a comparison. We might name it right away. We could simply call it our measure bins comparisons, like that. And then we can start adding the first elements here. So the first element should be the one containing measure values below 100. And you'll have to add a criteria here based on one of the dimensions, and now I'm picking the salesperson dimension, but you could actually pick any other dimension if you liked, because the only criteria you would like to add here is what you see here, the no selection criteria. It does look a little special, but I'll explain it later on why you do that. So the next bin, the next comparison element would then be the ones greater than 100. Whoops. At the same time less than 1,000, for example. And again, we just add this no selection criteria to it. A third bin here, greater than or equal to 1,000, but less than 5,000. These are simply titles I put here. And again, no selection criteria. And then the last one, the measure bin for values greater than 5,000, and another no selection criteria. There you go. So now we got the 4 comparison elements, or the 4 bins if you like. And if I just click OK here, it will initially just go in as 4 columns here. You can see the effect of the none criteria that you see here is in fact that, well, each of these elements, each of these bins will show you currently all the data. We need to do one thing here, maybe go into define mode and make sure that these measure bins goes on this axis together with my salespersons. Now you can start seeing the idea of having measure bins. This one less than 100, and the next one between 100 and 1,000, and so on. But of course currently we are seeing all the data here. So the next thing will be to go here to add a visibility agent, or actually 4 visibility agents, to make sure that each bin only shows the desired data. So for the first bin here, I would like to hide some members, and well, the members I would like to hide should be where the value is, well, greater than or equal to 100, and at the same time we want to make sure that our totals up here are not hidden. I know they will probably be wrong, but we'll need to keep them there and then fix them later on. And to make sure that we're not touching the totals, we can do something like this. We can put in an AND statement, all count D1, and then simply count all the children at whatever level we add. And if not equals 0, it simply says that then we are down to the individual salesperson's level, not the total level. The total level does have salesperson as children, so where we have no children, then we know we're down at the lowest level here. So that's the only place we like this visibility agent to work. We have to do one more thing, because we need to make sure that this visibility agent is working only in the first category, in the first measure bin here. And we can do something similar in order to do that. And I'll simply be counting now row-wise from the first row to the current row, but we also have to make sure that we do this on just the first level of this combined hierarchy. So we'll do that with a level 1 point or comma 0 modifier here, comma in 1, and if that equals 1, it simply means that then we are in the first category. So all of this, when I click OK here, should then produce what we see here, that the first measure bin now contains salespersons with number of sales in the range less than 100. So we need to actually redo this for the other measure bins. Of course, we can just go here and duplicate this one and then fix a few things here. So let's just split it up so it's a little bit easier to read. So the first condition here, greater than 100, now it should be in the range 100 to 1000, so we would like to hide those less than 100 or greater than 1000, comma M1 greater than 1000. And all of this, the first part up here, we need to put that into brackets like this. So if it's less than 100 or greater than 1000, then it should be hidden. I think it should be greater than equal to, actually. There you go. The other things here, this one still make sure that we're not touching the totals. And the last thing down here, now we in the second category, the second bin, and this is where we would like to look. So when I click OK here, you can see that the second bin here now contains numbers between 100 and 1000. And we've got 2 more to go. The third category here, between 1000 and 5000. And we just need to change the things here. So if it's less than 1000 and greater than equal to 5000, and still ignoring the totals, and now looking at level 3. These are the things I need to change here. So once I click OK here, that should work on the third bin, as you see here. And the last one, the fourth one here, the things we need to change is this one. Now it should just be anything less than 5000 actually, so I can remove the other part here, this one, there you go. Ignore the totals and now work on the fourth bin. Okay, so as you can see now, we actually created the bins, so these ranging less than 100, between 100 and 1000, between 1000 and 5000, and greater than 5000 down here. So these are actually the bins, but we still have an issue with the totals here, and in order to fix that, we will have to add another calculated column, actually one duplicating the number of sales. So I'll just go here and add a single column calculation. We could simply call this number of sales because we're going to hide this at a later moment, so end users will just see the new column as number of sales, but I'll just put in X here so you can see that which one is the calculated column. And what we do here is something similar to what we just did. We're going to look at whether we at the lowest level, this level where we don't have any children, or up here where we do have children, because at the lowest level here we just like to transfer our values, while up here where we do have children we like to have the sum of all the visible children. So again, to determine whether we are at the lowest level or not, I can use this syntax here: if all count d1 comma all children count all children comma m1. If that equals 0, it simply means that I'm down there at the lowest level, at the salesperson level. And then I would like to simply transfer the value like that. If I'm at the top level, at the total level here, where I do have children, I should sum up all the visible children. All visible children like that, comma m1. And when I apply this, we should see that, well, these values are being transferred, while this value up here is the sum of the visible children here. This one is the sum of these visible children, and so on down here. And the last thing I need to do now is simply to go into properties and then make sure that my original measure, or my original number of sales, is hidden. And now we have the crosstab, measure prints, and correct totals.